What's up? What's up? What is up? And welcome to the Dr. Ali Griffith Show, Mindset, Meditation, and Motivation. Guys, I am so excited to invite you to some of our guests that we have today. We have some gentlemen. Guys, guess what? You are actually my first set of gentlemen I'll be having as guests. You almost got beaten by another person who I spoke to over the weekend, but guess what? You were straight to the point. You got your time in, and you are actually my first set of gentlemen that will be gracing the Dr. Ali Griffith Show. So, guys out there, you're in for a treat because that means you get to hear it from the male's perspective, which is always a nice side to hear it from, especially us ladies, right? I want to introduce you to two amazing gentlemen. One is Dexter Peggins. What I have for you is a whole lot, but what I will say is that he's a husband, a dad, Army vet, author, mentor, business owner, and has worn many hats. It seems like what you do, what you are simply amazing at is that you are have sat on some advisory boards. You are amazing in terms of operations and transformation. You wrote some books. He's just a badass, right? Like he has part of the New Leaders Council, My Brother's Keeper, Department of Juvenile Justice. He's amazing, and I'm excited to have him here with us, but he's not by himself. He's with another amazing brother. His name is Dominique Bond, and Dominique is also the founder and CEO of Ambition. He has been doing amazing things, and he loves to talk about monetizing. It seems like you're about that money, right? And how to really start using things to keep them from being frustrated, keep them from feeling confused, and learn the steps towards success in their journey. What I love about both of these gentlemen is that they are advocates for change. They are advocates for transformation. And, they really believe in the concept, are you your brother's keeper? So welcome, welcome.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Awesome, awesome. And tell me a little bit about when men grow up. What is it? If you can give someone a quick snapshot of what it is, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, so When Men Open Up is a platform Dominique and I created to help men who were struggling with addressing the issues, opening up with issues that we deal with as men. A lot of times, as men, we struggle and we don't know how to share it. We don't know the spaces that exist to talk about our issues. And a lot of times we lack the vocabulary to talk about our issues because for such a long time, oftentimes as children, we as men or as boys, we're told to suck it up. We're told that boys don't cry, that men be a man. As a child, you're told to be a man. And so what ends up happening is that this young boy now becomes a man who's unable to articulate the issues that he's dealing with because he was never given the space to learn how to talk about his issues. And so our platform deals with those types of conversations, those type of issues, and it's through modeling it before men that we can inspire men to really start to heal.
I absolutely love it. I love it. So tell me a little bit about when did you decide to take this concept from an idea into something of fruition? What made you decide to go from thought to let's do this? What was that action?
It was pretty. It was pretty quick. It was pretty automatic. We've done some previous work with each other, recorded a lot of episodes, a lot of videos, and we stated that, this is a real issue, but to get this message out, how can we really educate men on this? And we started off with doing videos and doing a podcast, and then working towards, being invited to college campuses and doing workshops and so forth. We just got done at Fort Valley with the incoming freshmen, the incoming freshman men. And we did a My Brother's Keeper workshop. And that basically just taught them that it's not our sole responsibility for our mental health care. We have to be there for one another. We have to understand empathy. We have to understand how to be there for one another. We have to understand how to be there, be emotionally, mentally present when our brother is really going through something. And a lot of the guys, they express how, you know, how many people they know who were having suicidal thoughts and so forth. And they was able to really relate to the message and really take hold to it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the fact that you guys go around and you speak to some of the brothers. Now, let me ask you a question. As a mom, right? As a mom of a kid with special needs, and he's 13, how do you have these conversations about it's okay to, you know, okay, so let me tell you, Zachary absolutely loves watching cartoons. He actually sometimes likes to watch My Little Pony, right? And there was a point in time when he used to get teased and they'd tell him, like, it's not okay to watch My Little Pony. How would you speak to little boys who actually just love shows that are kind of conceived as girl shows? How do you guys have that conversations?
Well, I think what we do is we allow them to have that space just to be themselves. And if we can do that and not put in because sometimes I think what we do as parents is we have a very limiting and traditional mindset on how a boy should be a boy, how a man should be a man. And because at the end of the day, we already in our minds, we typically have an idea of what a boy should be, how they should walk, how they should talk. You know, it's almost like, you know, going into the store and, you know, what's that little bear shop, and we're creating this bear to look a certain way, act a certain way. And I think typically we kind of already have a preconceived idea of how we want our son to be. So if we can really just allow the boy to have that space and really just be open to why he enjoys the show, you know, what does he get from the show? Have him explain some of the characters. What does the characters mean to him and so forth, to have more of an idea of why he has this connection with that particular show.
Yeah, I love that. You know, I would, if it's okay, I would echo what Dominique just said. I'm the father of two young sons who at one point in time happened to watch My Little Pony. And it bothered me for a second, but, you know, I actually implemented that same advice. You know, I asked my boys, hey, why do y'all like this? And for the most part, it just was, they like the idea of flying horses, you know, and the creativity and imagination. And now they've moved on to the, you know, of course, the Dragon Ball Zs and other things like that. But for me as a father, I had to address my own misconceptions.
That's it right
and
there.
Then from that place, have that conversation with my children who are young boys and just say, look, help me to understand where you guys are at in your life right now, as look at this as an adult. Let me look at it from your perspective.
I absolutely love that. I love the whole idea, you know, as an audiologist and speech language pathologist, I'm super huge on communication. And I feel like if we ask them more of why do they like it, get into their heads, and this is the whole concept I've been speaking about, embracing your different, embracing the fact that, okay, you don't walk with the norm. You don't do things that are quote unquote what everyone think you should be doing. And then be understanding, which I love what you nailed, understanding that it's our concept. It's what we think. It's how we were raised that we're now placing on them. And we're kind of limiting the access to their creativity, the access to what else can be, the imagination, because we're thinking so limited at times. And I say we because we as parents, we as adults, and sometimes we as human beings, we actually just place so much pressure on the other person next to us because we want them to think and do as we do. So thank you for breaking that on us. Now, the next thing that we do with the Dr. Ali Griffith Show is we speak about meditation. Now, do you guys do meditation, or how do you feel about the concept of meditation?
I love meditation, and I have to really understand to think a little broader when it comes down to meditation. There's so many different ways to do it. There's so many. There's so many different forms of it as well. But I love starting my day out and meditating. One of the big things that I sometimes, bring up to people is, I have a notepad right by me when I meditate, because there's a lot of things that tend to upload in my mind while I'm meditating, because I'm eliminating the noise, I'm eliminating the distractions, so forth. And I like to end my day meditating as well, because it's a great way for me to decompress, so I won't go on fall asleep. And I think that's a really good way to really relax and decompress at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I echo that. I too am a practitioner of meditation. I pray and meditate every morning. Normally, my meditation is about 20 minutes in the morning, and then 20 minutes evening. I ready for bed. Much of the same reasons as Dominique mentioned. I just need that time to clear my thoughts of the day, and all the beginning is just a great practice to prepare myself for what I believe my day will look like.
I love it. It's a concept that many men, many of us don't know. And then, a lot of men that I've had conversations with, they're actually moving more towards it. I think a lot of people I'm speaking to now are moving more towards mindset shifting, and they're doing more wellness activities, and they're open more to meditation than when I was growing up. I remember when we first spoke about meditation, it was like, oh, we don't do that. I don't do that. And it seemed like it was such a foreign thing. And now the whole concept of including it into your day, making sure we start our day off like that, and how it shifts the rest of our day. More people are now open. So I hope those of you that are out there that are listening are hearing, Dominique's and Dexter. That's it, right? Yes.
You did.
Good. Dominique's and Dexter's ways of meditation both came off a little different. So that lets you know that there's no one way. It's what works best for a person, and what you need to use during the day that can help you to reconnect back to self, right? All right, you guys are giving so much. Now, tell me one main thing that you think our audience needs to know about when men grow up. What is it that they need to leave with as they're listening to?
Yeah, so with when men open up, the one thing I would definitely just put out there is that just be mindful that, we live in a society that has pretty much told men that we have to be hyper aggressive, and so we have attributed that as what it means to be masculine. And so we as men are coming into a place where I believe the true measure of masculinity is to be balanced, to be able to not only be a protector, but also to express when, I'm feeling a certain kind of way, and to be in touch with the feelings that I have, to be able to properly name when I'm disappointed, when I'm sad, as opposed to always saying I'm mad or I'm angry. No, the reality is that I'm actually hurt, and I can talk about that as well. And so, we as men, as I mentioned when we first started, a lot of us lack the vocabulary to talk about what we're dealing with. And so to your audience, I would just say that for the men in your lives, be patient and allow them from whatever level they're at to express what they're dealing with until they master the language of their own feelings.
I love it. Master the language of how they're feeling. It sounds so nice and smooth, but what's one thing, and I'm gonna bring this to you now, Dominique, what's that one thing that he just mentioned, which I love, master, be able to speak. What's that one thing that can help them to express hurt, which it seems like it's something that we shouldn't be able to talk about. Men don't want to talk about. They move into anger easily. They'll say those other words easily. But hurt is that place where, like, how do you get them to that place of speaking of hurt?
Yeah, and it's a loaded question. And one of the things is really giving them the space. And what we mean by giving them the space is to allow them to express themselves. When someone is when someone is expressing themselves, they're not necessarily all wrong. I think sometimes when we are listening to people and when we have a conflict, how we are trying to assess it is whether it is wrong or right. Instead of just trying to see, okay, do I have understanding on what's really going on? And I think when we come to, when we look at issues in that perspective, then we'll understand that, okay, let me ask some more questions to make sure that he is expressing himself the way he needs to express himself, and to his ability to where I have understanding as well. Because at the end of the day, he may believe that he expressed himself well because that's what he's normally used to express himself. But for you may need more information and more detail. So giving him the space to say, okay, how does this look? You know, what are your triggers? You know, what are some things that I can do to encourage you or to help you or better support you? And that puts you, or that puts him in the driver's seat in helping you understand, okay, this is what I need to do to really help him and yourself when it comes down to communication.
Oh, I love it. I love both of what you said. And I love how you guys just added on each other and just beautifully synced your message together. Your messages sound so similar to what I tell autism moms with understanding their children, with giving them time, giving them patience, being patient to let them express themselves, and then diving a little deeper into, well, what does that look like? And then for people out there, for special needs moms like myself, letting them know that asking us, how can you best support us, is so much easier than coming in and criticizing or having your own preconceived thoughts about our world. Just ask us, how can you support us? There's one thing that I do, I want to add on to what you guys are saying, and I know I'm not when men can grow up, but when men can grow up with other people supporting people like Dr. Ali around them. I just added myself onto your show, by the way. What can we do is, I always ask them, to use our senses, right? And tell them almost, what does that look like? What does that sound like? What does that feel like? If you were to give it a taste, what does it taste like? And all of those concepts, like it's a total picture of me. And I always say, I understand things very visually, or like a movie. So paint a movie for me so I can understand how it is that you're feeling right now. And I use this strategy with my coaching clients. I use it with my kids when I'm working with them. It just helps me to understand, and it helps them to learn more how to get clearer in their descriptors of what's going on with them. So thanks so much for adding on to the whole aspect that I'll always say, guys, hashtag it. Communication is key. Listening is key. Being patient is key. And asking for more, like to get clear on things before having judgment. That's all what I heard you guys said today. You are amazing. Thank you so much for just gracing me with a few minutes of your love, guys. I'm going to place all of your links, how you can catch them on Facebook, Instagram. They have YouTube, they have their podcast. But if you were to give them one place, if there was one place they must follow you, absolutely must follow you, where should they go right now?
Well, they can easily just go to whenmenopenup.com and get all the information that they need, and easily subscribe to our email list so they can get all the updates and more information and details of upcoming events.
Boom. They said it really nice and succinct. Go to their website, subscribe, get all the updated information, then go follow them on all the social medias. What days or how often are your podcasts drop?
Every week. And we are also live every Tuesday on Facebook. So you can catch the live on Facebook, or you can catch our podcast on just about any platform that you search for.
Dope, dope. I love it. And see, whenever you're ready for Dr. Ali to come visit you guys, definitely hit me up. Guys, like I said, what a better way to lead off with our first gentleman that has graced our podcast than men who are teaching other men and women who are listening out there, because some moms are out there raising these men. So we need to hear these conversations. It's very important for us to hear it. And I have a special set of audience with moms with special needs, because most of us, sometimes we get confused with communication. So it's also great for us to hear it. Now remember, in all that you do, be amazing in your thoughts, your words, and in your actions. Guys, it was lovely having you, and make sure you check out the next podcast right behind this.
Thank you.